Hi traders, this is Forex Nelson and I'm back today with another 4 trades. Today's date is September the 4th and I was trading the non-farm payroll. It was both on the US dollar and on the Canadian dollar. As you can see down here, I was doing the euro and the pound. This non-farm payroll is the most highly impacted news. It does move the market, so you have to be careful trading non-farm payroll. Of course, my master trigger system was pointing me in the direction, telling me which way it's going to go. Prior to the news, I did take the trade on 2 of them at 10 minutes after 8, and the other 2 was almost 20 after 8, 10 minutes before the news coming out. And as you can see on this first trade here, the pound CAD, each and every one of them, just to let you know, they were a great way to trade. Makes trading super easy, at least for me. And as long as you follow the rules, you should find it quite easy also. Most of the time I'm on 15 minutes, but every once in a while, to bring clarity, I'll drop it down to the 5 minutes. And the odd time I'll go up to the 30 minutes. But usually it's on the 15-minute time frame. So let's run a check on this pound CAD. Got in before the news, as I said, right here. At the cursor, I knew it was going to go down with a chance of a pullback cycle up, but that was okay. Let's see, did cycle up for about 22 or 23 pips, 22, and I closed it out for no particular reason other than I was happy. Remember, that's the way I trade. I look down at the bottom. When I have enough pips and enough money, then I'm happy and I just close the trade. Very simple. So let's see. And on this trade, I ended up with 18 pips and 18 pips on the pound CAD. Paid $1,311. And of course, as you can see, it's still going down. I've only been trading roughly around a half an hour. And I'm done trading before 9 a.m. New York time. So let's run a check on the next one, which happens to be the EURCAD, which is right here. Did exactly the same thing. Very, very clear. Great way to trade. I know exactly which way I'm going. By the way, I teach exactly how to trade this way within the training videos. I do suggest watching them multiple times. One trader watched them 7 times before he saw the light. So please watch as many times as possible. Let's just drag and drop this up, see where I got in at. Got in at this cursor. Timing on non-farm payroll is a little bit more difficult, and there can always be a slight pullback. On this one, it was about an 8 pip pullback, and again, no particular reason other than being happy. I closed it out with exactly the same 18 pips, and those 18 pips on the EURCAD paid $1,403. Now these first 2 trades were based on CAD news. So let's go and take a look at the news. I can show you that. Here it is here. Friday, September the 4th, CAD news, unemployment rate and change. It was negative. It was red. I did not know this prior to the news. But guess what? My master trigger, like all my trigger systems, it knows if it's going to be positive or negative. Don't ask me how. So this was based on the CAD news and also based on the non-farm payroll is based on the dollar news. So let's take a look at that. Just wanted to point out that today, Friday, September the 4th, on the CAD news, it was negative. So one would think automatically that we're selling the CAD. But I was just looking at my master trigger. I don't care what it says here. I just go in the direction that my trigger system tells me. So logic dictates, as you can see over here on the US dollar, it's green. We're supposed to be buying. So remember, if we're buying here on the US dollar, that means we're selling the two pairs. And this one here, we should be buying because it's red. We're selling on the CAD. But all I know is prior to the news, I don't know what these readings are. So what I do then is, looking at the charts, if the CAD were selling, in theory, this should be going up. But I don't want to go against what my trigger system's telling me. So it's telling me it's going down. So as bizarre and as weird as that may look, my master trigger is saying to sell when the news is saying I should be buying. Anyhow, it's I don't know why it's like that. I learned a long time ago. Don't go against what my trigger system's telling me. So at that point, I ended up with 18 pips. So these first two CADs is going against what the news release is showing. So let's move right along. Just goes to show you, when the news comes out, don't swear by it and say, oh, I should be buying, because can imagine if you bought, you would be losing. And that's why, one of the main reasons I use indicators. A lot of traders out there will tell you, indicators don't work. They're lagging. I grant you they're a bit lagging, but I teach you how to bypass the lagging part of it. In other words, you're getting a signal and you're waiting for pullbacks. Ideally would have been better here, 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 but that's okay. I knew it was going to go down, and it's still going down. As a matter of fact, still dropping for another 11 pips, and it should continue to go down more. And I could have stayed in the trade and made a lot more. But as I said, when I'm happy, I just close the trade. I don't know about you, but if I get one trade a week like this, you only have to work one day and take a 6-day extended long weekend. And that's the main reason I got into trading 16 years ago, so I can work a lot less and make a lot more money. So remember, I trade what my master trigger tells me. In other words, I don't care what the news is. These people who go around talking about the news and all that, it doesn't mean anything. You're going to go with the flow of the market. The flow of the market is down right at this point in time. So why would you buy? Makes no sense at all. Let's go to the euro dollar. I don't normally trade this, hardly ever. Now the pound dollar I'll look at, but let's check out this euro dollar. Now in this particular one, the last two, I went down to the 5 minutes, because when it's kind of braided like this, I want to get a clearer picture of the direction. So let's see, euro dollar, took it at 10 after 8 this morning. We'll just drag and drop this up. At this point is very clear. Nothing telling me to buy. Now I did get into trade. It did a cycle, and remember, that's just non-farm payroll right here on this blue candle. Expect it to jump a bit. Well, some people would say it jumps a lot. Let's see. Jumped 28 pips. I got in at this cursor. Did go against me 10 pips. I don't think I'm going to cry over 10 pips, and neither should you. And it was telling me, a great way to trade was telling me sell, which is exactly what I did. And the dollar was green. That means we're buying the dollar. Means the euro dollar, pound dollar is going down. At this point, I closed out the trade with 31 pips, and 31 pips on the euro dollar paid $3,090. And it certainly looks at this point in time that it's resting for a while. Now it can either go back up, or it can continue after it rests for a while. So moving right along, let's go and take a look at this pound dollar. Again, this one, I dropped it down to the 5 minutes prior to the news. I wanted to make sure I'm going in the direction that the master trigger is telling me to go. So let's give it a go right here. At this point right here, everything was screaming. Everything, all the indicators top and bottom were telling me. And the news came out right here, right on this candle. So let's just run a check to see what the pullback was prior to the news. It did do a pullback of about 14 pips. No big deal. It didn't break the top or the goal line there. I knew it was going to go down, so we just had to sit and wait for this little bit of a cycle here, and for no particular reason other than I was happy, which was 39 pips, and 39 pips on the pound dollar paid $3,880. So if you've been adding up the pips, the pip total is 106 pips, and I've always said that I'm very happy with 50 pips, but I know non-farm payroll will give more than a grand total of 50 pips. So it's 106 pips, and money-wise is $9,685. So if your trading is not producing like my master trigger system, I suggest you look into it, consider getting it, and to do so all you have to do is look right below this video and you'll see this master trigger system. I do charge $250 for it, and it has over 3.5 gigabytes of training, and you'll get an exact copy of my system on your MT4 platform. Now it comes with 4 MT4 templates, 8 custom indicators, and my favorite meter. I would not trade without a meter, and neither should you. Now within the package there's a lot of PDF books, a lot of Word documents. It's not directly related to any of my trigger systems, but it is directly related to how you should be trading the markets. And this is what you need, a lot of education, because to succeed at trading you're going to need a lot. Remember, instead of giving the broker money, which you will, guaranteed, you should be taking that money and getting education, because without education you will fail. Get your hands on as much training and education as what you can. Now there's a lot of ways to trade here, and I do teach a lot of ways to trade. That's why there's 42 training videos, and I threw in 9 bonus videos. Now my number one best way of trading is right here. It's called A Great Way to Trade. As you can see, I do it day in and day out, and it gives me makes my trading quite easy actually. Now the reason why my master trigger is just a bit better than all my trigger systems is because of these 5 things right here, 5 topics. In each and every video I give a lot, many advanced trading tips. I also teach how to get near perfect timing entries. Now obviously the perfect timing entry would be right here, but it was working its way down and I wanted to get in the trade prior to the news. Could have waited just maybe about 2 minutes before the news. It would have been a little bit better. So let's see. I also teach how to stay in the trade for more pips. There is still not a signal to close the trade, but when you see a bunch of candles like this, you should consider closing the trade. And of course, I also teach how to trade at the right hand edge, right at the edge of the charts, and also teach how to trade higher time frames. Very easy to look at 2 or 3 higher time frames to see if you should be buying or selling and going with the trend. That is most important. Plus I use this MTFAO right here. I put it on a higher time frame. Also it helps to guide me into the trade. Now I show many great trade setups, what it should look like, the charts just before you pull the trigger. I also teach how to back test the master trigger. I still do this 6 to 8 hours every weekend. I enjoy doing it, and the more you do it, the faster you can come in front of the charts, and you can see right away if there's a trade setup or if you have to sit and wait a while for it to come back and give you a trigger to buy or sell. Also teach how to scalp the market, how to scan the market, teach how to trade all 3 sessions here, including this London close. Taking a quick look at this pound dollar, easy to see. I told you it would rest for a while, could go back up, never did get a signal indicating up, it's still indicating down, and it's doing another cycle. And I could have stayed in the trade for more, but you know, I'm happy with the totals. Remember, you should trade until you're happy. If it moves 100 pips, doesn't mean you got to get 100 pips. If you can get half of that, you should be happy. So let's see now. Also teach how to trade pullbacks, like this a pullback, this a pullback. And of course, if it breaks through the goal line here and keeps going up, I call that a reversal, which I teach how to trade. Also teach how to trade around the goal line, around the goal line, around the goal line. There's a lot of trading opportunities. I also teach how to trade the news. Perfect example today, the non-farm payroll. And also teach how to trade with a day job. And of course, that is either you can get up before you go to work, or when you come home after your 9-to-5 job, and then you can trade the Asian time frame exactly the same way. All 3 markets are traded exactly the same way, except the London will give you a lot more pips, and then New York will give you a bunch of pips also, as you can see, and then Asian you'll get less pips, but you can still make enough pips, which will translate once you get to 1 or 2 standard lots. You'll be making more money than what you're making on your day job. So if you have any questions at all you got to do is pick up the phone and call me here. Here's my number. If you live too far, just send me an email. Remember, there is a underscore here. And of course, I do prefer Skype right here through Skype contact. After you click on this link, very easy to make Skype contact. And through Skype screen sharing, I'll give you a free session, which will probably last about 45 minutes, and I'll answer all your questions. I wanted to point out that if you leave your email address, I'll also put you on my weekly trading tips. I'll put you like on my email list for weekly free trading tips. So, see where we're at now. Over the course of many years, I built 27 trigger systems. All you got to do is click on this link. They're a lot similar, but the only major difference is within the training videos. Remember what I said previously? You need a lot of education. And the fastest way that I learned how to trade was through videos as opposed to reading books. I prefer watching videos. That is why I give a lot of videos. Each and every one has 30 to up to 42 training videos. So a lot of education there for you. So let's see now. That just about wraps up this video. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So until the next trade, happy trading, and remember to keep yourself and your family safe. Okay, bye for now.